Hey guys, how you doing? New FX with Black Flag Trading. It's December the 5th. It's about 10 o'clock at night here in Texas. So I wanted to go over a couple of setups that I just sent out to my gold members. I've had a lot of requests for this to make some videos to kind of explain my methodology. So I'll be sending this out to my members as well. I already sent out the picks, but I figured I'd put something out there to let you guys know the way I trade and also the kind of results we've been getting so far. So if you go back on my timeline on Facebook, and I told my members this too. I mean, I'll probably won't have another month like November. It was 3,600 pips net after losses. Okay. It was pretty crazy. We rode those pound pairs. I mean, 700-800 pips a pair on those after the rate hike. The reaction to the rate hike, which was negative last month. But I literally bought all those pullbacks plus the Euro New Zealand, Euro Canadian, some other stuff. But anyway, so it was an amazing month. But all right, so we're back. We're now in December. What's done is done. It was a crazy on a month-to-month, probably my one of the most profitable that I've had ever in 9 years almost. Okay, it was pretty damn good. It was pretty good. So it's December the 5th. I just wanted to go over a few setups that I sent out to my gold members. Okay, these larger swing trades that aim for 300, 400, 500 plus pips a trade. These go out to my gold members, and the silver members get something a little more intermediate, a little more short term. Okay, so I want to show you guys the way I analyze these and what I've got going on right now. And this is live. It's December the 5th. So whenever you watch this, you can go back and check it to kind of back test them. So, all right, so just a few, not all of them, but just a few. Okay, I've been waiting for this forever. I mean, I thought it was going to come down to at least a 50% after this pop, but it didn't. It consolidated. This is I've seen this before. I mean, this you can call it a flag, you can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. Doesn't matter. It makes sense that this held because look at the support here. But either way, it popped at the 38%, and I'm sorry, man. This weekly or daily setup on an ABC D Fibonacci extension. I'm sorry, man. The pound yen is going about 1,000 pips from here. We're at so we got in at 151. I've been in before I actually put the pick out, but so I'm aiming for about 1,000 pips. Subscribers are going for about 900. The first target is 156.50, the 127. The second target is 160. So I'm sorry, man, but I mean on a weekly basis, this is essentially just coming up to a. Oops, sorry. And I've had I mean, I don't need to do this. I know this, but just to show you. So we're going to the 50% pullback of this because the 38 got breached. I mean, it's about to breach it anyway, but I think we will go past it. And the next level is simply that 50%, which is a 160, which is also the ABCD extension of this setup. So, all right, so we're long pound yen. We're gonna aim for about 550 for target 1 and about close to 1,000 pips for the target 2. This, if something comes out, this can get there very quickly. The pound pairs move. When they move, they move. If not, this will be 2 to 4 weeks. If you can wait 2 to 4 weeks for 1,000 pips on one trade, then this is what this video is about. Okay, I just want to show you the benefits of managing longer term swing trades and how it frees you up. The setups are that much better, are way better in my opinion. They're just better defined, they're more symmetrical, they're clearer because it's longer time frame. So all right, so bullish pound yen, very similar. I don't want to go through the whole strategy, but we're bullish pound dollar. Here's the pick that I sent out on on Sunday night, just 2 days ago. So we're long as a 134 on this little pullback on the daily, I'm going for, I mean, pound dollar has to go. I think the dollar is toast, by the way. I literally think the dollar, I thought it would have one more push higher, but you know, don't marry a trade or a bias. If you see something different, be flexible enough to change it. And from what I'm seeing, I think the dollar is toast. I mean, I think the dollar is gonna be just fucking clubbered the next few months. I mean, I'm sorry, but so as a result, mainly because of the setup, you know, regardless of the fundamental bias, but as a result, yeah, we're going on this because the ABC already formed and got essentially confirmed through the moving averages, the Fibonacci's, the upward trend line that got respected. And so any pullbacks into that target you want to buy. So that's what we bought. We bought 134. We're going for 139.30 on the pound dollar. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Pound Canadian. I didn't put this out. It was a little risky for my subscribers, but I'm in on it. I mean, I bought this 50%. We'll see. We'll see. I think the pound Canadian is ultimately going to go to 183, which is 1,300 pips from here. But you know, short term, maybe we'll retest this high at 174, 400 pips. I'm not sure about that one, but I'm in on it because you want to buy into weakness like this. As long as you buy these pullbacks, you know, your risk is limited. You know, most rookies they I don't know what they've learned this, but they buy new highs and they sell new lows, which is the opposite of what you want to do. It's just that simple. I mean, I've backtested this shit for 10 years almost. So every time the market scores a new point, you know, makes a new high, so to speak, it loves to pull back. Even if the trend is still up, it loves to pull back first because profits are taken. Liquidity goes down for just a little short while. There's different reasons, okay? Stops are taken out, and no need to get into that. Just know this: when they make a new high, okay, we made a new high, pull back, new high, pull back, same shit, new low, pull back. Not as much here, but I mean, I promise you, it's more often than not that's what it does. So you want to buy into, if you're going up long term, if your bias on the larger time frame is bullish, you want to buy the smaller setups, the smaller time frames on dips. So you want to buy into weakness, and you want to sell. You want to sell into strength. You want to sell into strength, as long as you know what parameters you're working within. Okay, so I'm long on that as well. The pound Aussie, we're up 200 pips on this already in a day and a half. This is the range I put. So between the 50% and the 618, it dipped quite a bit, almost to 786, but it's okay. We're going for 475. So if you're going for 475, you have to allow at least for 100 pips stop loss for that, because it's 1 to 4 5 almost risk reward. So so we're still in on this. I'm up pretty good on this one. I think we all are. But we're going from 170 176-ish, okay, let's call it, between these two levels. I'm in at 175.80 literally at this 618. Went a little bit against me, but it's coming back around. I think pound Aussie goes to 181. I mean, anything can happen, but I think we're going up. Euro dollar, I'm not in on it yet. I want to see a couple more things first. But we'll see what happens with the rate hike decision. Okay, that's why I'm staying out of this one. But that's coming up in about a week and a half. On the 13th, a week, whatever. But honestly, man, I'm sorry, but shit. This counter downward trend line got broken. I think the euro is fucking going, which makes sense. Corresponds with my bearish bias on the dollar. I think we're going to 125 by year's end. Maybe not by year's end, but in the next couple months on the euro dollar. Okay, I'm not in it, but I think that's where we're going. Same thing, Aussie. I think it's about to turn around. Probably 1,000 pip move on that too, but I'm not in yet. I want to see a clear break of this downward trend line. Okay, on the daily. So we're not fucking with that. We're not touching that. Okay, I put this pick out as well. I'm not in it yet because I think it might touch the backside of this trend line, and that's where I'll get in. But I did put it out. It's safe enough because risk reward. I mean, we're going for shit 800 pips to 118 on the dollar Canadian. So I put it out. I think it's safe enough, and they're just gonna have to manage their risk. And I told the guys this when I sent it. Long story short, if you remember months ago, back in April, I called this ABC, and it fell 1,400 pips after that. Then we get out. Very simple. We just know when to get out, because you keep drawing those downward trend lines. The moment that breaks, it's time for a little pullback. Doesn't mean the change is the trend is changing overall, but momentarily it is. So what happened? Well, this A, B, C, D has to be respected. It has to get there eventually. I think it will get there eventually, which is about 115. It's currently a 126, 127. So based on last Friday's payroll numbers, and not the numbers, I don't look at fundamentals, but the price action, this here, I mean, I'm sorry, but this is pretty much a fucking red flag. I don't think it's going above this double top here. So I think we're going down on $1 Canadian. Okay, we're gonna aim for about 800 pips. Again, this may take, depending if the rate hike doesn't get pushed, which is I think what's gonna happen. I'm calling their bluff. I know everybody thinks the Fed's gonna raise them. They might, but the good thing is if they raise them, I think it's already been priced in, just based on the setups on the dollar. Dollar's looking bearish across the board, so I think it's priced in, which is great. There's no risk there. If there's a surprise, because markets hate surprises, if they actually don't raise them and find an excuse not to raise interest rates yet, which is what I think is going to happen. Okay, it's a bold call, but I'm calling their bluff. I mean, CPI numbers, inflation is still fucking low. It doesn't benefit them to raise them. They could, but I don't think they're going to raise them. If that happens, I'm telling you, this baby, this and the pound dollar, euro dollar, anything dollar, I mean, it's just going to fucking, everything against the dollar is going to just skyrocket. So the dollar Canadian will crash, essentially. So that's what I'm waiting for. Okay, there's going to be a lot of volatility when that happens, but so we're short. The other one, New Zealand yen, 200, we're going for about 200 some pips here. We're short as of, here's the pick that I put out on Sunday. We're short as, I'm short as of 77.40 myself, 45, whatever. So we're going for 75.25 to be safe. I think it'll be much lower, but I just love it because daily, like I said, I don't analyze anything below 4-hour to daily chart time frames. Okay, I mean, I do if I want to get in and out really quick, but typically this is what I stick with. And I mean, this downward trend line has been respected, textbook every time. Prices made it back up, 50% got hit. Moving averages are in conjunction with everything. I think I'm bearish on the New Zealand overall, so we're short New Zealand yen. This one's giving me a little bit of, we're down about 100 pips on this as of Sunday, but I think we're still going up on the euro New Zealand, primarily based on my bias on the New Zealand New Zealand dollar being bearish. Okay, all right, so this gives you a little bit of an insight as to what to expect. Okay, if you join the service, I would really recommend it. I mean, not to brag, but I mean, if you don't brag with 3,600 pips, this is one time that I'm actually going to take it and brag about it. 3,600 pips net in November. Go back on my timeline on Facebook and check those trades. It was amazing. It was amazing, and everybody's very happy. And so, yeah, I can't promise another month like that. That's hard. That's hard to duplicate. But it's not to say that we won't have another month like that. But my gold memberships, they aim at least 1,000 pips a month net. Silver memberships, 250 to 600 pips. That's what I put out. Shorter term setups to those guys. Okay, it's a little cheaper for that service. So I'm trying to be fair, obviously, but I would really recommend you guys to check it out, man. I mean, you got nothing to lose. It's $97 a month. It's a tax write-off. If you're trading a mini lot, last month you would have made $3,600. That's on $1 a pip. Would have been $7,200. A half a lot. I mean, shit. You're looking at 14, 15, 16 G's almost on that. Okay, on last month's results. So if you did the math just on the ones that I put out here, Um, let me see. We're close to. We're aiming for about. I still think the Euro New Zealand will go. I'm gonna hold this. I'm down, but I'm gonna hold it. If you do the math, we're going for roughly 4,000 pips. So this, and I'm very glad to see that a lot of the subscribers who used to be scalpers, no wonder they didn't make any fucking money. They're getting accustomed to this longer term stuff, this swing trading, because again, it works for me, but I really think it's a great edge, especially if you got a day job, if you got a business, if you got family. It takes much less time to be involved. Okay, once you pull the trigger on these, you just monitor them and you just kind of keep an eye on it to make sure nothing's iffy with the setups, everything's still confirmed. And I mean, I've had trades. The longest trade that I held was 2.5 months on Forex. It was you remember from last, I mean, back in April. It was the Euro Yen. I bought at 115 and got out at 129. Very simple. I put a video on this. Check out my YouTube page. I put this call live, and also the dollar Canadian short from this C point. It's about 4,000 pips. It took me 2.5 months, but it was 4,000 pips just in those two pairs. Okay, so my point is this: if you've never thought about holding on to a position this long, I'm telling you, you want to rethink that. You want to rethink that. Last time, way more pips potential, way less commissions and spreads, you know, to the broker, because you're not in and out of the market every day. So anyway, this is what I'm eyeing for the next month or so. I'm bearish on the dollar. I think the Fed's gonna pull some bullshit, and I think it's gonna take the dollar crashing. So gold up. I'm still bullish on gold. It's just been going nowhere, and that's usually a sign that something major is about to happen. You know, silver, same shit. I mean, I'm massively bullish on silver and gold still. I'm heavily invested in stocks and in the commodities themselves. So anyway, a lot of this is gonna what's gonna happen with the rate hike on the 15th next week is gonna determine the direction on all this stuff. Okay, especially dollar related. Everything else, pound and stuff like that, not really. But so check this out. What I'll do a follow-up video whenever that is. It could take a month for these to work out, could take a month and a half, could take 2 weeks. So I'll do a follow-up video. Again, it's December 5th 2017. It's about 10:20. So just wanted to give you guys an idea at the way I trade and the way I manage positions, and I welcome you guys to check it out. Got nothing to lose. I think it's still very reasonable price-wise. I made it very feasible for most people. Try it out. It's a free country. If you don't like it, if it's not for you, you can always leave. Okay, but I really doubt you'll ever go anywhere else, because I promise you, there's a lot of crap out there. I've been doing this for about 10 years. So anyway, it's a way to make money and kind of educate yourself at the same time. You just piggyback, you know, my own calls. You can do whatever you want, obviously, if you have your own methodology, but this is just something else to go off of if you're doing some good trading already. I think you can pick up on a few things. Okay, so all right, it's Neo with Black Flag Trading. We'll keep an eye on this and see what happens. All right, guys, have a good night.